Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
50% of the workforce, just a handful of directors. In a world of shattered glass ceilings, women in the advertising industry are still a long way from equality. Now, one of the world's top executives, Saatchi & Saatchi's Kevin Roberts, has been placed on leave after his comments on gender diversity.
In an interview with Business Insider, this is what the global chair of Saatchi & Saatchi said.
The debate is all over.
Before going on to add that women didn't seem to want to progress in their industry the way their male colleagues did.
Their ambition is not a vertical ambition. It's this intrinsic, circular ambition to be happy.
Mr. Roberts then dismissed the views of diversity campaigner Cindy Gallop, who argues women's ambitions, circular or otherwise, are thwarted by discrimination.
I think she's got problems that are of her own making. I think she's making up a lot of stuff to create a profile and to take applause.
Cindy Gallop, former president of the global agency Bartle, Bogle and Hegarty, responded with this. The best response to that is to throw it open to the industry and ask the women and men of the ad industry all around the world to tweet at KR Connect to let him know whether they think I'm making it all up. Kevin Roberts has now been placed on a leave of absence. Meanwhile, the debate he said was over rages on.
And Cindy Gallop joins me now from New York. Cindy Gallop, Kevin Roberts painted a picture of women sitting round the office smiling benignly, delighted that their male colleagues are being promoted and getting more money than them. I take it that wasn't your experience of advertising?
Absolutely not. Never doubt that women, as much as men, burn with a desire to lead from the top, to set a vision for our industry, for their company, in the same way, quite honestly, that just as many men as women would also like to spend more time with their children and have a better quality of life. I mean, so no, women's ambition is as vertical as men's.
But I mean, Kevin Roberts was pointing out, in his own view, that sometimes women may operate differently from men. What is wrong with him saying that?
What is wrong with him saying that is that at the top of our industry is a closed loop of white guys talking to white guys about other white guys. The white guys at the top are sitting very pretty. They have their huge salaries, gigantic bonuses, expense accounts, stock options. Why would they ever want to rock the boat? The system is working just fine for them as it is, and so they will post-rationalise that any way they can in order to preserve the old world order.
Here, Helena Morrissey, hugely successful investment banker, set up the 30% Club to increase the number of women on boards. She did that because she said, we want a women's perspective on boards. It's an acceptance that sometimes women and men operate differently. He wasn't saying anything different to that, was he?
What he was not accepting was that actually to invent the advertising industry of the future, you need to move from a world where the default setting is always male in order to welcome in the enormous untapped pool that is the creativity and talent of women and people of colour. My industry has not even begun to see what its future could be when it reinvents itself equally, driven, influenced and designed by men and women and diversity, and it hasn't even begun to see how much more money it could make accordingly.
You acknowledged when you ran your company in New York, as you put it, women were so appallingly bad at negotiating their salaries that you did take them on. They were consistently paid at the beginning less than men. Didn't you just exploit women in exactly the same way as Kevin Roberts is suggesting women are different and need to be dealt with differently?
No, actually, because you've left out the second half of my statement. What I said was that women would come to me, having unfortunately done what I've been coaching them in ever since, which is not negotiated in the same way that men did. I would absolutely hire them in at the salaries we set, and then once they were in the agency and doing a really good job, I deliberately set out to equalise the salaries across all genders at every level.
Cindy Gallop, I would love to have talked more. We've got to end it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
getting away